Hi everyone, welcome to our course Teaching English in a Barrier-Free Space. This is Module 1 on differentiated instruction to reach all students. In Part 1, overview of differentiated instruction, we will define differentiated instruction and look at the general principles of differentiation and why they are important. Each student comes to school not only with unique academic needs, but also with unique background experiences, culture, language, personality, interests, and attitudes toward learning. Effective teachers recognize that all of these factors affect how students learn in the classroom, and they adjust or differentiate the instruction to meet students' needs. Thompson and Imbo describe differentiation as creating a balance between academic content and students' individual needs. They suggest that this balance is achieved by modifying 4 specific elements related to curriculum: content, process, product, affect. Content, the information and skills that students need to learn. Process, how students make sense of the content being taught. Product means how students demonstrate what they have learned. And affect, meaning that feeling and attitudes that affect students' learning. These curriculum-related factors are based on students' needs in 3 areas: readiness, interest, and learning profile. By readiness, we mean that students' preparation for learning specific information or skills. Interest is what appeals to students and thus motivate them to learn. Finally, learning profile is how students approach the task of learning. The goal of differentiated instruction is to create learning opportunities that make allowance for differences in how individual students learn in order to ensure equal access to important academic content. Content may be modified for students who need additional practice with essential elements before moving on. However, the expectation is that modifications in other areas will ultimately allow all students to master the same key content. Teachers who practice differentiation in the classroom may design lessons based on students' learning styles, group students by shared interest, topic, or ability for assignments, access students' learning using formative assessments, manage the classroom to create a safe and supportive environment. Finally, continually assess and adjust lesson content to meet students' needs. Let's dive deeper and explore 4 ways to differentiate instruction. First of all, it's content. What you could do is differentiate the content by designing activities for groups of students that cover various levels of Bloom's taxonomy, a classification of levels of intellectual behavior going from lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills. The 6 levels are remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Students who are unfamiliar with the lesson could be required to complete tasks on the lower levels, remembering and understanding. Students with some mastery could be asked to apply and analyze the content, and students who have high level of mastery could be asked to complete tasks in the areas of evaluating and creating. Examples of differentiating activities can be matching vocabulary words definitions, reading a passage or text and answer related questions, thinking of a situation that happened to a character in the story and a different outcome, differentiating fact from opinion in the story, identifying an author's opinion and providing evidence to support this viewpoint, creating a PowerPoint presentation and summarizing the lesson. Process. Each student has a preferred learning style, and successful differentiation include delivering the material to each style: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, and through words. This process-related method also addresses the fact that not all students require the same amount of support from the teacher, and students can choose to work in pairs, small groups, or individually. And while some students may benefit from one-to-one interaction with you or the classroom aid, others may be able to progress by themselves. Teachers can enhance student learning by offering support based on individual needs. Examples of differentiating the process can be to provide textbooks for visual and word learners, to allow auditory learners to listen to audiobooks, to give kinesthetic learners the opportunity to complete an interactive assignment online. Product. The product is what the student creates at the end of the lesson to demonstrate the mastery of the content. This can be in the form of tests, projects, reports, or other activities. You could assign students to complete activities that show mastery of an educational content in a way the student prefers based on their learning styles. Examples of differentiating the end product can be read and write learners write a book report. Visual learners create a graphic organizer of the story. Auditory learners give an oral report. Kinesthetic learners build a diorama illustrating the story. Learning environments. The conditions for optimal learning include both physical and psychological elements. A flexible classroom layout is key, incorporating various types of furniture and arrangements to support both individual and group work. Psychologically speaking, teachers should use classroom management techniques that support a safe and supportive learning environment. Examples of differentiating the environment can look like breaking some students into reading groups to discuss the assignment, allowing students to read individually if preferred, creating quiet spaces where there are no distractions. There can be pros and cons of differentiated instructions. The benefits of differentiation is the classroom are often accompanied by the drawback of an ever-increasing workload. Here are a few factors to keep in mind. Research shows differentiated instructions is effective for high-ability students as well as students with mild to severe disabilities. When students are given more options on how they can learn material, they take on more responsibility for their own learning. Students appear to be more engaged in learning, and there are reportedly fewer discipline problems in classroom where teachers provide differentiated lessons. However, some drawbacks can include differentiated instructions requires more work during lesson planning. We teachers know that, and many teachers struggle to find the extra time in their schedule. The learning curve can be steep, and some schools lack professional development resources. Critics argue there isn't enough research to support the benefits of differentiated instruction overweighing the added prep time. What differentiated instructional strategies can use in your classroom? So there are a set of methods that can be tailored and used across the different subjects. So according to Kathy Perez and Access Center, those strategies are tiered assignments, choice boards, compacting interest-centered groups, flexible grouping, and learning contracts. Tiered assignments are designed to teach the same skill, but have the students create a different product to display their knowledge based on their comprehension skills. Choice boards allow students to choose what activity they would like to work on for a skill that the teacher chooses. On the boards are usually options for the different learning styles: kinesthetic, visual, auditory, and tactile. Compacting allows the teacher to help students reach the next level in their learning when they have already mastered what is being taught to the class. To compact, the teacher assesses the student's level of knowledge, creates a plan for what they need to learn, excuses them from studying what they already know, and create free time for them to practice and accelerated skills. Interest-centered groups are a way to provide autonomy in student learning. Flexible grouping allows the groups to be more fluid based on the activity or topic. Finally, learning contracts are made between a student and a teacher, laying out the teacher's expectations for the necessary skills to be demonstrated and the assignments required components, with the student putting down the methods they would like to use to complete the assignment. This contract can allow students to use their preferred learning style, work at an ideal place, and encourages independence and planning skills. That's all for now. In the next part, we will speak more about flexible classroom management. Until next time, everybody.